So to our tech news for the week, and Google has been ordered to pay $5.05 billion fine and stop forcing Android smartphone makers to install its search engine and browser on their phones. That decision was handed down by the European Union's antitrust authority. Kobe is here. Oh, that's a lot of money, but not so much for Google, is it?
Yeah, it's just like it's too little, too late.
But help us understand what's happening here. So Android smartphone producers or makers are being forced by Google to use its search engine
and its browser Chrome. So, you know, the EU was very, very tight-fisted on some of these things. Some time ago, Microsoft was actually fined for something similar because they were bundling Windows with Media Player and Microsoft Internet Explorer. And then they say, hey, you need to give people options. You can't force them to use what the computer comes with. So it's the same thing that Google is facing right now. They're being asked to give people options, allow people to choose what they want to use. And smartphone manufacturers are actually forced to use Android and not their own versions of Android. You know, if you decide to use your own version of Android, you wouldn't have Google Search, you wouldn't have the Play Store or the Play services. And that's forcing everybody to go with Google's Android. Now, the antitrust authority is saying that, hey, give people choice. The manufacturers and the users should have that choice. So it shouldn't come bundled. That's basically what it is.
Wow. So, I mean, so how does that affect me as a user? I mean, so how does that concern me?
Well, when two large companies start to battle it out, everybody's trying to outdo the other, then you benefit because then technology improves because there's competition, and then price obviously will drop. Android is made by Google. So imagine, say, Huawei decides that, hey, we want to come up with our own version of Android, which is also equally good, but probably more optimized for our devices, like the way iOS is more optimized for iPhones. This will help the users benefit from better performance for the devices.
Interesting. Well, let's see how it impacts our lives then. Well, Rolls-Royce says it is developing tiny cockroach robots that can crawl inside aircraft engines to spot and fix problems. Yeah. You're always excited when you hear about robots.
Yeah, well, I think it's a sign that the world is moving very, developing. And we know Rolls-Royce, they are responsible for most of the world's aircraft engines. And you know how large these things are. In order to fix them, they have to take down the whole engine. It takes about 5 hours to fix. You have to send a high-skilled expert all the way to wherever the airplane broke down. And that's a lot of work and a lot of man-hours and a lot of money and a lot of time. So they just thought to themselves, hey, sometimes you take down the whole engine before you realize just a tiny speck of dust somewhere that's causing all these problems. So they decided robots can fix this. 15 millimeters in size. They crawl into the engine, use 3D scanners as cameras, and then they scan around the engine and look, hey, is there a problem here? There's a problem here. That's where the problem is. No need to take down the engine. And then sometimes these robots themselves can actually fix them. So maybe it might be a quick fix. Something is stuck in. Maybe a bird went into the engine and then caused something to get locked. The robots can fix it. You don't have to fly. And sometimes it can be someone, a low-skilled, engineer can do this rather than the high-skilled one who has to be flown in and paid lots of money. So yes, time is money.
Okay, so you said it's attached to some, they have some cameras attached.
Yes,
so is it that the engineer can see what the robot, or the robot on its own will
The robot on its own can look and see, because they already have a schematic programmed into them. So they can look and see what the problem is.
Please, what's a schematic program?
So that's like the map version of the whole engine. So the layout, the plan of the engine. So they know what it looks like. So they go there. If this is out of place, it's like spot the differences. You play that game. So we give you this and we give you that and tell you spot the differences. So when you see the difference, no, this is wrong. And the engineers can also monitor and then see.
Now talking about maps, now we're hearing that Google Assistant can be used to map out
your day.
My day.
Yeah.
How?
So basically, we know that, the job your PA would do. Your PA will tell you, hey, Bernice, you have a meeting at this time, you have a restaurant reservation, you have to go here, you have to go there. Now, your Google Assistant, artificial intelligence, you know what I mean? it's gotten so smart now that it can actually help you plan out your whole day. So it can tell you, you have to be on air at 8, and you are, say, about 2 hours from your destination. It can actually turn and remind you. It can take your notes, it can scan your notes and tell that, okay, you need to do this, you need to do that. So basically, it's doing all this for you now. All you need to do is install Google Assistant and try it out.
So what's the latest on WhatsApp? I've seen that when I forward a message, someone can see.
You know, it's been a problem in India. There's been some lynchings because of these false messages, fake news, all these. So WhatsApp has been trying. Last time we spoke about them offering about $50,000 to people who can help them solve this fake news spreading problem. So now they've reduced. Initially, you could actually forward messages to 250 people. Now they cut it down, all the way down to about 2 people. In India, you can't forward messages to more than 2 people. And now they're removing the quick forward. You know that small arrow? They're taking it away. So you have to go the hard way.
So that's specific to WhatsApp users in India?
Well, it's going to roll out the whole world. They're testing it. They want to see if it's going to fix. Because India is where this whole problem is happening. And it's even all over the world. Today, someone sent me a message that there's a virus spreading called Windows Live Update. It's a hoax.
Wow.
But it's spreading like wildfire.
Thank you, Kobe. Hopefully next week we'll be back with some more tech news. But that's how we wrap up this edition of JoyNews Desk. It's been a pleasure bringing you the news and all the analysis we did here on the Mid-Year Budget Review. There's more news when you log on to myjoyonline.com. I'm Benis Abubaid.